Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains rattled loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away.
Hey people, welcome to Thursday evening. Excuse me, frog in my throat. It's later in the same day as I just finished the spider prop, which you will have seen already. Both the final build on it as well as a showcase vlog or showcase video that I will have posted. Haven't posted him yet. The film's still on the camera at this point in stage, but by the time you see this clip, you will have seen it. So, getting on to my next project. I've got a bunch of small projects I need to do, and it's going to tie me up for probably the last 2 weeks of my build season. It's the 11th, September 11th. And we've got about 2 weeks left. We start setting up the haunt on I think it's the 29th this year. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a couple of small props, to finish out the build season. And this year, it's going to involve these here. If I can back up far enough so they're in camera. I bought 3 of these ammo boxes at a yard sale back in the spring. Paid $10 a pop for them. I thought it was a fairly good deal. And wife and I were talking. We're gonna use one of them in the Pirates display, and the other 2 are going into the blacklight room. What we're going to end up doing is, with this one, I've got to go through and get it cleaned up and whatever, but I'm going to end up having this standing up and open in the pirate display, and we're going to have some swords. I'm actually going to pull a couple of my new swords I just got over the summer out. They look like something a pirate would use, and they're going to be pack this thing with raffia, and the swords are going to be on display in this. A little nervous about using real swords in the haunt, but it's going to be far enough back so they're out of reach of everybody and on the other side of our fence, so hopefully no one messes with it. But I've got to get in here, clean up the ammo box, do some sanding on it, reinforce the joints a little bit, and then we're going to give it a good coat of stain, and then I got to do the holders inside of it for the swords. Quick, simple, probably a 1 to maybe 2 day project. We're going to get started on that one. These back 2, on the other hand, are part of a 3-stage project. My blacklight room's kind of gone, I'd say nuclear, like nuclear waste, that sort of thing, radioactive, what have you. So I got to thinking, Goth Gloom, a couple years back in their haunt, trying to think, steampunk. They went steampunk in their lab area, and Dawn made some bubbling tubes attached to a base that lit up, and there was actual bubbles and stuff in it. And I always loved that prop, and I've been thinking about doing something similar, or something similar to that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I got to check out, see if the parts I want to use work. But each of the cases, I'm going to have some tubes inside with fluorescent water, some fluorescent lights, and I'm going to attach some a bubbling tube. And so my own take on nuclear fuel rods is what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to build a full one up, like they're getting ready to put it into the nuclear furnace, and I'm going to have a skeleton that I'm going to trick out holding it. So that's kind of what we're going to be working on. I'm going to start out working, though, with the box for the pirate display for the swords first, because that'll be a quick, easy one. The other two, going to take a while. I can probably get the box, get started working on the boxes. I don't have any other supplies for doing the project yet, and I'll be getting those on Monday when I get back into town after work. But that's currently what we're working on, and we'll get you more as we get going. Okay, another quickie segment. Kind of told you what I was doing for the Pirates display with the box. There we go. Project's done. See, told you it was going to be a quickie. No, it's not done. I wanted to give you an idea of the swords. I collect swords. I've got about 30 of them in the house, different ones. And I grabbed something I thought you might see on a pirate ship, and I brought them out. We're just going to do 4 swords. Box is going to be sitting just like that in the haunt. We wanted the sword sticking out. We'll give it a good staining, and then I'll do something on the side of it. Maybe like property of Spain, property of England, or pirates plunder, you know, some sort of pirate saying. We'll put that on the lid, maybe on the front, and kind of go from there. Real simple project, just time consuming with the sanding and the staining and the waiting for the stain to dry and the labeling and everything else. But now you got a little bit better idea of what we're doing. Hey people, guess what day it is? It's Monday. And I'm home. It's pretty late in the afternoon. We've been out running some errands all day, normal errands having to do with work. Plus I picked up a bunch of stuff for the next prop series, which you saw at the beginning of this vlog. Other than buying the stuff, putting it in the car and driving home, I haven't done squat with it yet. Don't plan on it either, not for a little bit at least. The show and tell video I did on the Spider, this baby here. Thank you for all the comments. I'm glad everyone likes it. Had a couple of little fine-tuned things I needed to do, and I figured I'd do it before I started doing anything else. One of the problems I had when I was shooting that video is a couple of strings broke or loosened up too much, and the legs weren't running quite right. And my friend that was made the mechanism down there for the cylinder and everything for the Spider to sit on was here, and he made a suggestion that he's using to pass on things, and that was hot glue. He suggested tying the strings, getting them taut the way you want them, which is what I just got done redoing all the strings yet again. Get your knots all tied, and then take some hot glue and go over all your knots with it. And, you know, just kind of wrap it in and around the knots. It will actually kind of glue the knots into place so they won't unravel. And a lot of it that's what I was having the problems with. You know, they were unraveling here. Every time the leg started bouncing, the knot was working its way loose. So hopefully that will help. But spend some time doing that. And then something I mentioned in the build vlog for the Spider 2 was the fangs. I was going to add some hair to it, and I actually did. I just got done hot gluing it on. I'm going to come back with some staples and put some staples in there to hold it on too. Did that to both the pincers, and I'll give you a look at it all the way finished here in a bit with the housing and stuff back on. I thought I'd update you, say hello. Hey guys, body's put back together. And by the way, weekly maid service is in. She's out sweeping today. And man, is she a good maid. Sorry, had to duck there. Got a broom swung at me on that one. Got the body back on. And I know light's a little screwed because of the sunlight. But we got the hair on. Not sure how much more you're going to be able to see. You'll probably have to wait till it's in the haunt to get a full effect, because I'm not going to sit here and keep filming the damn Spider. We got another project to work on. But for all intents and purposes,
you could put it right here.
That can be taken 2 different ways. You realize that. And it's going on air too.
I still say it needs a mouth, you know?
Yeah. Wife was thinking about having some fur put in here too. And I know that could be taken another way too. Keep your dirty minds to yourself and out of my gutter. But anyway, last look at the Spider. I'm not going to hook it up and run it again. It can wait until it's in the haunt. But Spider is officially done now. My little touch-ups are finished with it. Now on to the nuclear fuel rods. Hey guys, back again. Just got done getting a spider taken apart. It's a warm one out there today. It's up in the 80s, which is actually kind of cool considering we were having 105, 110 for almost a month here. Sorry about that. Wanted a cigar. I don't know. I grabbed this camera. I feel like smoking. Nothing like a good cigar. It's so relaxing. I could use the relaxing after all the stress I've been through. But anyway, like I said in an earlier segment, we had errands today to do. 3 of the stops that we made were actually Halloween related and prop building related. First off, we got lucky. I found out about 2 months ago we had Hobby Lobby come to town. They opened up September 12th over the weekend. So I'd never been in a Hobby Lobby before. Did buy a couple of things there. Let's see, we'll zoom in if I hit the right button. Those lanterns, and I bought some raffia. The lanterns I'm going to use in the pirate display. The raffia goes in the wood crates, which are part of the current, in one of the wood crates, the one that goes into the pirate display. You know, that's part of the ongoing project. Other place we stopped by, oh, I do want to say, Hobby Lobby, lots of neat stuff down there, but unless I have coupons for Hobby Lobby, I doubt I'll be shopping down there very much. I couldn't believe some of the prices they were asking for. Literally crap down there. God damn, the prices were high. But they had a lot of neat stuff. And I know they're like a lot of the other places us hunters shop at, you know, fabric stores and stuff. They have coupons. You can get things on coupons and get some good deals down there. So I'll probably shop down there that way. Another stop we made, since it was right next door, was Spirit Halloween. And I picked up 2 more 4-foot black lights. Reason being, a couple of my black lights are starting to flicker instead of staying on steady. And I've done enough work with fluorescent lighting to know when they start flickering like that, or the way these are flickering, it usually means the ballast inside, or the little box that converts energy over for, you know, whatever, for layman terms, is going out, and they'll start to flicker. And usually doesn't take long for them to go all the way out once they start flickering. So I bought 2 more just to play it safe. Wife also came up with another project for me. It's a quick, simple, easy project which I can do while I'm building the haunt. We picked up a couple of heads. This one with glass sticking out of it. And this one here has some head trauma. And we've got a couple other ideas too, or we'll be going along with this. But I mentioned that I collect swords. Did that when I showed you those swords. Well, when I got those swords, it came with wall plaques that you attach the plaque to the wall. The plaque has hooks on it, and you hang the sword. You know, it kind of dresses them up, makes them look nice. I never use those damn things. Those things are chintzy as all hell, I always thought, so I never put them on. But wife was thinking of using those plaques, and I'll show you those plaques down the line when I get ready to do it, for the heads. Mount the heads to it so I can hang them up on the wall. You know, kind of like trophies. You know, like people do with, animals and stuff to kill and get, or whatever, or from Africa, whatever, however you want to word it. Sorry, dropped my cigar and I'm not leaving it. But anyway, so we're going to do that. Now, current updated project. Sorry about that. I dropped the cigar went out. I relit it. Tough. Live with it. Ran you through the crates earlier on in the vlog. I got this one all the way sanded. Still got a little bit of sanding left to do on that one. And that one I haven't touched yet. Needs to be sanded. I'm going to put those off to the side for the moment, because our third stop today was Home Depot. Now, I don't know how many of you have followed Goth Gloom Spook House, or just simply Goth Gloom on YouTube. It's Don and Mary Powell on Facebook. Married couple down in Texas. Some of the most talented haunters out there. And been semi-good friends with them for a long time. Known them for a couple of years. We spent many an hour harassing each other in video chat over the years. But anyway, they did a mad scientist lab, kind of a steampunk looking lab in their haunt. I think it was 2 years ago. And Dawn made some bubbling tubes with lights underneath of them. I think I might have explained this earlier in the vlog, and if I had, I'm repeating myself. Deal with it. But anyway, those things impressed the hell out of me, and I've been trying to think of some way of doing it. Now, like I explained to you on the boxes, I want to do some nuclear fuel rods to go into 2 of the boxes, which will be going in my blacklight room. I went down to Home Depot and found this. It's a clear tube with a black cap on the end of it. And what they are for fluorescent lights. You put your bulb into it, you know, and then plug it in. That way if the bulb up there ever breaks, all the glass and stuff stays inside the tube and you don't get it all over the floor. I am going to use these, or attempt to use these, to make fuel rods. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cap the end off of it. Cap the end off. So when I pour water in, it just doesn't drain out the bottom. Then up here, I picked up some copper tubing. We're going to drop down one of those on the inside. And I got some smaller gauge copper tubing here in the box, which I can bend real easy by hand. That will be spiraled around that copper, which will go down inside the tube. And then we're going to cap off this end. And then I'm actually going to have a small air hose running down through here. We'll fill it with water and some fluorescent dye, and it'll be bubbling. And it's going to be my nuclear fuel rod. I hope, if it turns out that way. But I'm kind of borrowing the basics of my idea off of Dawn and Mary. So thank you for doing your vlogs. It helps. You're giving me spin-off notions here, people. So we're going to be doing that. Now I should jump in and get these things sanded so I can start getting them painted. Thing is on these plastic tubes, the glue I bought for gluing the caps on takes 12 hours to dry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of time now, put the boxes off to the side, and I'm going to get my caps glued on to one end of these things so they can sit off and dry. Because it'll be a couple of days probably before I can even get to the point where I'm messing with them. At least 24 hours. Because I know I ain't going to mess with them today. It'll be sometime tomorrow. Yeah, at the earliest. So I'm going to work on getting the caps glued on those. Hey, back again. That was a quickie job. I had 14 tubes down there. I went through and used some Auto Marine Sealant by DAP. It's a type of adhesive caulking used to do repairs on plastics and stuff like that for cars and boats. Made for being around water and what have you. And I just smeared some on the inside of the cap and then slipped the tube in, gave it a little bit of a twist to make sure everything was covered. Now I gotta wait 12 hours for it to dry. Good evening, people. And yes, it is evening. It's gone about 9 o'clock. I didn't bother grabbing the camera this morning because I spent all day laying out graphics on the boxes. It took me about 3 hours to go over all 3 boxes, get the wording and stuff on them, and then spent the rest of the day painting. And I literally just got done getting all the lettering and stuff painted on. Figured I'd show you. I've got this box here, as well as that box there, are going in my blacklight room. They both say the exact same thing. Nuclear fuel rods, and then nuclear fuel rods there. And then when you open it, it says radioactive. Now I know close, and my arms aren't long enough to hold that open and show you. Now I did not do anything with the wood, and I am planning on staining it. I'm actually doing this backwards Usually you do your staining and then you come back through and do your lettering. I want to kind of age it a bit though, so I'm doing it backwards. I figure I could rub my stain on over the lettering and stuff, and it'll help fade that lettering out a little bit. I'm going to be doing it on that one with some wood stain. This one on the radiation symbols. I went ahead and did do the white in there because that needs to be painted yellow. The regular wood on the boxes though, however, and I don't know if it will work. I should have painted them all the way white as well, and I decided not to. But I'm going to be painting the boxes fluorescent green because these are going in the blacklight room. And instead of painting it, I'm just going to put the paint on a rag and just wipe it over everything except for the nuclear emblems, which will get painted yellow. And it'll be interesting to see how, you know, how it will work. I didn't want to paint it white for the simple fact, the box white, for the simple fact I want to see the wood grain on it. And if I give it a coat of white paint and then do the green over the top of it, the green would pop, but you wouldn't see the grain on the wood. I wanted to see the grain on the wood. So, trying it a little backwards, a little bit different technique. I got a couple of smears over here on this one and on this one. I mentioned to the wife that I was thinking about coming back through with some sandpaper in the morning and clean it up, and she said not to. You know, back, 15th, 16th century, everything was hand done, and they'd make mistakes like that. They just let it go. You know, I mean, they weren't neat about it. So she said to leave them. So I'm probably going to do that. Now, my plan for today was to get to this point and then switch over to what's going to be my fuel rods. And I showed you these yesterday. And while this morning I did, here, we'll flip it around. I did come out and take a look at this end of it, where I put the cap on with that caulking stuff. The caps are stuck on there nice and tight. They do not want to come off, and I'm not going to sit there and torque on them and break in the plastic trying to get them off. I wanted them on to begin with. However, I have not tested it for water yet. Now, I don't know if those things are going to leak. Probably what I'm going to do is when I get down the final stage where I do my, where I actually do put water into them, if they leak at all, I'll take more of that caulking there, and I'll just run a bead around the top of it up here to help kind of seal it. Hell, I might end up doing that before I actually put water into it. But I was hoping to get do some work on those today, and these damn things took all day long. Let's see, I showed you the inside of that one. This one's Haig and Haig Whiskey and Rum. Haig and Haig, their emblem, whiskey and rum, and I showed you inside of this one. I got rum, their logo, and whiskey on it, and that's going to be holding the swords over there. So anyway, that's pretty much as far as I got today. Hey, welcome to Wednesday, end of the day again. I didn't grab the camera this morning for the simple fact I did a end of the day last night, so when I started this morning it looked just like what it did last night. Got some major progress. Still did not make it over to working on the tubes today. I decided I was going to stick with the boxes, and I got the boxes done. I figured I'd show you the one in the Pirates display. And I went down to Hobby Lobby, picked up a bucket load of raffia. I think I picked up, what was it, 8 packages. There's 5 in there. I could probably add a little bit more if I wanted to. For all intents and purposes, though, that prop is done. All it needs now is the wife's going to put a rat or a skull or something here in the middle of it to kind of decorate it up a little bit more. But that's, for all intents and purposes, ready for the haunt. Haig and Haig, the star emblem, whiskey, rum. And I did the star emblem on the inside of the lid, whiskey, rum. And then to get to the other side, because I can't shut the lid with the swords in there, it just says Haig and Haig, whiskey, and rum, and you really can't see it. Give me a second here. I'll take the swords out and I'll show you the lid. If you want to see it, maybe I won't show you, but I think you guys get the idea of it. So, pirate display is done. That's the last thing for the pirates display I needed. Give me a moment and I'll get those up and give you a look on those. One thing I did do was on the hinges. I did want to cover that real quick. When I originally got the hinges, they were kind of scratched up, tarnished brass, and they just looked too new. Didn't like the look of them. These are the same hinges, and what I ended up doing is I took all the hinges, all the screws, all the metal pieces off when I was doing the painting. I put these in a cup this morning, filled it with vinegar, and let it sit for a couple hours. And the vinegar ate through all the crap on them, and all I had to do was take them out of the vinegar and wipe them down. And now they're looking, you know, pretty much like this. So we're tarnished, and they kind of fit the cases a little bit better. I can always go back through and re-brass them if I wanted to. I think I'm going to leave them kind of like that. Okay, did a little bit of reshuffling. But I was going to go like this. I might as well, what the hell. And it says Haig and Haig, whiskey, and rum on the lid. Now, naturally, I've got the swords out because I want to be able to shut the lid. Now, if you remember right, I had 3 boxes. The other 2 are going, excuse me, hacking fit, coughing up a fur ball. The other 2 are going in my blacklight room, and I'm going to be installing some of those clear tubes in them and have them standing up on end, you know, with bubbles and stuff going. I figured I'd give you a shot at what they look like. Here's what they look like closed. It says nuclear fuel rods on both the top and the sides, and of course it's got the radiation emblems on it. And then on the inside of the lid it says radioactive nuclear fuel rods. But one thing I did, and I think I mentioned in the other segment, I wanted the wood grain to show on here, you know, to bleed through. So I did not base coat the whole thing in white. I only did the radiation symbols for the yellow and the black. I wanted those to show out real good. But so I just put 1 coat of green fluorescent paint on there, and I was curious if it was going to fluoresce. So I got one of my black lights out. And we'll back it off here because all you're seeing is the front. But I'd say that's fluorescing. It's not real bright, and you're seeing mainly the yellow. You're also seeing the brush strokes in the yellow too, and I wish there was a way of getting rid of that. Probably if I went over it and gave it a second coat. But I'm not going to worry about it. They're supposed to look beaded up and worn and aged, and I think it does. So, you know, there we go. But anyway, that is what I've been working on all day. Hey, boys and girls, girls and boys, guys and gals, men and women, women and men, dogs and cats, who knows. But it's going on about 4 o'clock. I've been out here kind of putzing around a little bit today. Since the boxes are done, I got started on these babies, the clear tubes. Bottom part, a couple days ago, I went and glued on. They're sealed, they hold fine. And then the top, I just put another PVC pipe in here, drilled a hole here to allow the air line to go in, and then another hole up here so air can escape. If you don't do that and you hook up your air pump to it, these things will blow up like a balloon and explode or shoot the top off. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. As far as the top of the tube, I ended up cutting the tubes probably about 6 or 7 inches off so they'd fit inside the boxes. And then I also notched out right here. Yeah, there you go. You can see it there. Notched it out so it corresponded with a hole on here so I can get the air hose into it. After I got that done, my next step I'm sorry, wonky camera angles. There we go, go that way. Ain't making anybody seasick yet? After that, it was a matter of getting my filler, the decorative piece on the inside done. I wanted to kind of look like a fuel rod, and nuclear fuel rods are long, straight cylinder pieces of lead or uranium, whatever, uranium, you know, about 3-4 foot long. Not very interesting. I wanted something a little more interesting. So I went down and I bought copper pipe, and I think I showed you the piping at the beginning of the vlog. And then I picked up some smaller copper tubing, which is very easily to bend. With that, after I got everything cut to length, I'm simply wrapping the copper hosing around the pipe, and as a result, I am getting that. There, get it out here in the light here a little bit better. And now we're getting glare off the light. And it goes all the way down to the bottom. Now when I'm wrapping this, it's still kind of loose on the pipe, so I'm going back through with my hammer and actually hammering the whole length of it to flatten it, and it tightens the copper tubing up around the pipe so it doesn't slide around. So got it going that far, and then I noticed when I put it inside, the top of the copper pipe keeps wanting to fall off to one side or the other, and I didn't want it doing that. So I went and I took a 4-inch long screw and drove it down right next to the air hole on the top, and it goes down inside the pipe, and it's actually holding the pipe for the most part upright. Down at the bottom, there's nothing. The copper pipe's just kind of sitting right there in the center of it. I'd like to put a screw like up here down on the bottom. You know, you're running it into the pipe to hold the pipe into place. Problem is, it would leak like hell. The only other thing I can think of doing is I've got some of that water sealant left I used to glue the bottom cap on. Maybe getting some of that and putting a good healthy coat around the end of the copper, and then shoving it into the pipe and putting it into place and letting it dry, you know, basically gluing it into place. Problem with that is I want to be able to remove the insert if need be down the line. Plus I've also got to run my air hose and stuff down through it, and if I glue it into place, I won't be able to do that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll take a screw and I'll glue the screw in down there. Problem is I can't get to it. Cap's glued on. Oh well, I'll come up with something, or I just might leave it be. I do kind of like the idea maybe of having that off to the side anyway, because I still got to get my little air stone in there. And I can't do that if it's in the center, I don't think. But anyway, that is kind of where we're at now. I've gotten one done. I've got 13 left to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and get busy on that, and we'll see where we're at by the end of the day. Hey peeps, end of the day, Thursday. I'm tired. I forgot how much cold forging takes out of a person, especially when you haven't done it for years. And I'm saying cold forging. Forging is usually the shaping of metal. You heat it up and shape it. Cold forging you use on soft metals to shape them, you know, ones that you don't want to heat up and warp with heat. And with doing those, I chose to use cold forging because copper is such a soft metal as it is, and it doesn't take much heat for it to really melt. But my arm's sore, my feet are sore, I've got a headache from all the hammering. I got 11 done today. I got 3 more to do. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get this copper tubing wrapped around the copper pipe, and then going through and hammering it into place. And what the hammering's doing, it's doing several different things. When you wrap that tubing around the pipe, you have areas where it doesn't touch the pipe. And when you hammer it, it not only stretches the copper out a little bit, but also compresses it against the pipe so it won't slide up and down the pipe real good. You know, you can still remove the pipe if you force it, but you know, basically holds it into shape. And then you get your dings and dents from doing your hammer and the surface of the anvil on it and what have you. It gives it kind of an aged look. So we got that done, at least 11 of them done. I've still got, like I said, 3 more to do. I'll do those on Monday. It'll take me about an hour altogether to get those 3 done. I still got to come in here. We're going to have either 4 or 6, probably 4 tubes in each one of the crates. This crate and that crate. And I've got to create a pair of cleats to go on each end to hold it, keep them separated and hold them up off the bottom a little bit. So I'll do that, and then so that takes care of 8. That leaves me, what, I say I had 6 left, and I'm going to do up a little bracket to hold 6 of them that the Skelly will be holding. And that will be done out of wood, and hopefully it won't take that long to cut them out. Painting them will. So we got that to do, and then I got the skeleton to do yet, and then I need, on the inside here, I went and attached a screw that goes inside the pipe to help kind of hold the pipe centered. The pipe still wobbles a bit, but I've got to figure out, I need to put 6 LEDs in there, UV or the blacklight LEDs in there, and I got to figure out how I want to do it. The easiest way would be drilling 6 holes on the lid, popping the LEDs through, and then hot gluing them in. That'd be good for the inside, but all the wiring would be showing on the outside, and I don't want the wiring showing. So I'm going to have to play around with these a little bit and figure out what the hell to do. I think I put the LEDs in, flatten all the wires and stuff over so they're not sticking straight up. I might be able to put a good thick layer of hot glue over the top of it and then just paint the hot glue and you wouldn't see the wires. That's an idea. Anyway, it's something I'm going to have to think about over the weekend here. Sorry, trying to put the cap back on the pipe. And there we go. Trying to do it one hand, and it's not quite as easy when everything's bobbling around. But anyway, that's what we're going to be working on next week, is getting this finished up. Should have this project done, minus the skeleton, by Wednesday. Is my goal. Hopefully sooner than that. It just, I would be a lot further along on the project today if I had decided not to hammer out this copper tubing, and just wrapped it, which is what I originally wanted to do. And I didn't like the look of it, but I do love the look of it flattened. But it just takes 15 to 20 minutes each, and it's very tiring work. My arm feels like I've been trying to drag an elephant around. My grandfather used to do a lot of cold forging when I was a kid, and he taught me a little bit about it and showed me how to, some of the tricks and stuff to it. And haven't had much call to really use it over the years. But, it was kind of fun. I know working on this got me thinking about my grandfather. I wonder what he'd say with all this Halloween stuff. He really wasn't a Halloween nut. Oh, well. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring this vlog to a close. I'm going to head in the house, do my editing, get it uploaded, and then I think I'm just going to crash for the night. Maybe go to bed early for a change. We're on the road tomorrow, next to the last weekend for the farmers markets for us. So we got this weekend and the following weekend, and then we're done for the season, and I go straight into hunt build time. So it's coming, folks. Those daily vlogs, they'll probably be out. We'll probably start doing the daily vlogs either the September 28th or September 29th. So if you start seeing a lot of spam from me, they're just daily vlogs. Trash them, delete them, or watch them. It's up to you. But I know I have a lot of loyal followers on the channel that like watching the daily build vlogs. Why? I don't know, because it's almost the same damn thing every year. Just that the wall panels are going in different spots. But anyway, gonna let you go. Stay spooky out there and stay toxic.